Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Amanda. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're here if you've been here a while. That means so much to me that you show up and support me. I see the same ones in the comments almost every video, and it means so much to me that you've been here and supported me since day one. It's not easy to grow on YouTube, so I'm so glad that you supported me. I'm so appreciative of that. But I'm fixing to pull out of my driveway here. I'm at home and fixing to head to my aunt's, and this is what it looks like when I go. I have lunch for Allison, tripod, tools, laptop, camera, all that stuff, and it's like I feel like this is a work truck instead of just a car. But anyway, I am headed to her house. I'm gonna work on her cabinets and her walls in her kitchen, and I think I've told you guys the plan for that. We've got the Beyond paint coming for those tiles, and so excited to get that done. After I'm done with that, I'm gonna do her laundry room, and then I'm gonna paint her bedrooms, and mainly focus on her master bedroom, kind of do something special for her in there. So I appreciate your comments and your all suggestions. You all give the best advice, you seriously do. And there are a lot of things that I might do differently if it were my house, but when I went in her house, I did suggest different paint colors and just different things like that. But ultimately, it's their home. I want them to be comfortable in it. If they're more comfortable with the TV over a few inches so they can see it better, and so that chair is not right in front of it, that's fine with me. Or if they want their family tree, you know, a lot of people said that it was too high up, but I don't think they realized there was going to be a love seat there. But that's where they wanted it. You know, I always ask, this is what I think, but what do you want? Like, it's your house, you live in it. And I know there's been so many people talk about the clutter at my mom's and at her house too. And with any project, you have each room moved completely into another room. I feel like her island in her kitchen is kind of like our toolbox. That's where all our paint and supplies and stuff like that is. So it is, you know, cluttered up, and I don't mind working around that. I'll just clear it off and push it to another side of the kitchen, and that's why it looks like it does. So anyway, I love you guys so much. I've read all your comments. Y'all are so sweet. And yeah, we're gonna head over there. Before long, I'm gonna have to take a day off. I'm gonna have to do like a huge grocery haul. I'm gonna have to get my house in order. The girls swapped rooms. You all seen that. Kennedy's finally knows who her roommate is, and of course she is a softball player. They grouped all of them together. So Kennedy does have a roommate. She is 36 hours away. She's going to be driving 36 hours to come to school here and play softball. So she's not going to know anybody. She doesn't have family or anything like that here. So I told Kennedy's been messaging her back and forth and getting to know her. And I told her, I said, I'll be your Tennessee mama. You can come home with Kennedy on weekends or anytime you want to. I just can't imagine being somewhere like that and not know anybody. So of course I would welcome her in my home, open arms, and love on her. I would want somebody to do the same if it were Kennedy going 36 hours away to college. I can't imagine that. But anyway, that's why she decided to change rooms. That way she can be upstairs. I'm gonna put an extra twin bed up there just for her or whoever comes and wants to stay. But that'll give Kennedy a little more privacy too, and a little more room in case her roommate wants to come home, or if she has friends over or something, she can just kind of go up there and have a little more privacy. Allison's gonna be downstairs. Flash sleeps in that room with Kennedy, and I know when Kennedy's gone to college, he's gonna be sleeping with Allison, so that's gonna be the same room, same bed. So I kind of keep him adjusted to the same routine, just a different person, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's get out of here and go paint these cabinets.
I've been dreaming so much lately about your face when you're smiling. It's the only thing that saves me. Hey, I don't know if I told you that I think you're beautiful, and how I can't wait to hold you. Yeah, you pull me up when I'm falling down, and I don't know what I would do without you. Yeah, you pull me up when I'm falling down. Hey, now look into my eyes. You can use them as a mirror, baby. You're my ticket to paradise. Hey, now everything's alright. We've been longing for each other, and it feels like I'm on cloud nine. be without you. This is something that I know for sure. It's just something about you. I just want more. Tell me what you wanna do right now. Tell me what you wanna do tonight. I really don't care as long as I'm with you. Hey, now look into my eyes. You can use them as a mirror, baby. You're my ticket to paradise.
I've had several people ask me why we didn't take this wallpaper down before we painted, and this is mobile home sheetrock, so it's not really wallpaper that you can peel off of the wall or remove. You would have to remove the whole piece of sheetrock and replace it. So we weren't looking to replace all of the sheetrock, so we painted over it. It did fine, it covered fine. Actually, it covered really well just with one coat, but I did go over it with a second coat. But that is why we didn't remove the wallpaper before we painted, and it paints fine. It doesn't damage the sheetrock to put paint on it or anything like that. So if you're looking to paint your mobile home sheetrock, ours did fine. We didn't remove the strips from the kitchen. These little trailer strips, we removed those from the living room and from her bathroom and filled those in and just sanded those down. And it looks good either way, I think. I don't mind the strips, but you know, some people would rather it look just like seamless sheetrock, and I understand that, but that's what we decided to do in the kitchen.
Yeah, you pull me up when I'm falling down and I don't know how I do without you. Yeah, you pull me up when I'm falling down. Yeah, you pull me up when I'm falling down and I don't know how I do without you. Yeah, you pull me up when I'm falling down. Yeah, it feels like I'm on cloud nine. Never knew that it could feel this way when you lie next to someone. You don't even need to play pretend, 'cause you find the way you are. I wanna know you.
So I suggested that we take this trim down and replace it with something solid and a little bit thicker, just something that would give it a little bit of a more modern look. So we're gonna run to Lowe's and see if we can find something a little better than this. And let these walls be drying because we've got that done basically.
My heart is open, it just took some time. Now I just hope that you stay for a little while. You fix what's broken when you make that smile. So just stay for a little while. So just stay for a little while. I didn't think that I would find that someone who's as honest as you are. The way you make me feel at night when I
thought it would look so much better if we removed this old piece of trim that's above their cabinet. There's also a piece above the refrigerator on that shelf, and I got enough to do that too. So I removed this. I just pulled it loose with a flathead screwdriver. It came right off. We just replaced that with a more modern looking piece of trim, and I measured that before we left, and we had them cut that at Lowe's before we left with it. After it's painted, you'll see that it's crazy at how much better that looks. It just looks so much more clean. The old piece of trim that they had there had a little design in it, and it was kind of cut out, and you can kind of see through it as you see there. but it was so dirty and so greasy that I would have never gotten that clean to have painted it to begin with. And without it, her cabinets just looked bare. And I don't know if it's because we are just used to seeing that trim up there. It probably would have looked fine without it, but we did decide to replace that, and it does look so much better. To put this up, I just used liquid nail. I ran that all along the top of the cabinet, and then I placed the trim on top of it. I secured it with painter's tape just to hold it there, but as you see in the very middle of the cabinet where the exhaust fan goes up the wall, that piece of trim lays right up against that. So I did put some liquid nail behind that too, so it's got that extra support. But I pulled on this when it was dry, and it held up so well. I was afraid we might need to go in with some brackets or something and just screw that down, but so far it's held up way better than I even thought it would.
You fix what's broken when you make that smile. Stay for a little while. Stay for a little Hey, you're good at making me lose my mind, but I always come around, don't I? And I know sometimes I'm bringing you down, but I always make you smile, don't I? We're like the waves on a big blue stormy sea, but still you're the one who brings out the best in me.
After the liquid nail had dried, I went in and caulked that little gap that you could see just here and there in between the trim and the cabinet. And then I caulked where the two pieces went together, just so it'll look like one big piece and it'll look just clean and crisp. Anything looks so much better like that when you caulk it, even though I'm terrible at it. But if you remember, I cleaned out my friend's garage and she gave me a bunch of shiplap. So I used that as backsplash in my kitchen. I used it in my mom's bathroom around her mirror just as a little accent wall. And then I had a lot of scrap pieces in the back of my car. So when I took this trim down, it was really old and dated, almost like it was dry rotted even, like it would snap real easily. So I said, I've got shiplap in the back of my car. Let me run that along this piece of wall right here. Let's see what you all think and see how well it holds up, if it stays, whatever. So I did piece several pieces of that together here, and I've got enough to do their whole kitchen. I was just trying it out here. I was going to caulk it and see how seamless it looked, to see if it looked okay or whatever, and they love it. I was going to throw that out anyway, so, you know, it's a win-win. Also, speaking of throwing things out, when we've taken anything out of this house, like carpet, the old toilets, the old vanities, just all that stuff, we've piled it at the road. We have I call it a claw truck. I'm not sure what the real name of it is, but they come around and they pick up your trash. Like if you have big items that won't like go in your normal trash, of course, they'll come by with a truck and they'll pick that up for you like once a week. I told Debbie I was going to mention this to you all because I know we were talking about yard sales in the last vlog, and you all were saying one man's trash is another man's treasure and things like that, and that is so true because almost every single thing we've put to the road, there has been people stop and pick up, even the used toilets. I looked at Heather and I was like, oh my gosh, like who would pick up somebody's used toilet? Who would want somebody's used toilet? And Heather was like, somebody that doesn't have a toilet, that can't afford to buy one probably. And I was like, you know what? You're right. There's probably people that are in a spot to where their toilet's broken or whatever they have is broken, and even though it's 20 years old and it's used, it works for them. And that just blessed my heart to see people dig through that and take it, because you never know what kind of shape somebody else is in, and you never know how something so little like that can be a blessing to them. And I would say even 90% of the people who stopped and would dig through it, they would come to the door and knock and ask if it was okay that they take it. So, you know, I'm just so glad that somebody got some use out of those things. But yeah, I thought I would share that with you all too.
The way you've been staring at me wakes me up like the sun. I don't wanna cut you off, but I know this is such a rush. The way you move so free, put your body next to me. I don't wanna cut you off. This is such a rush. Like this game is so bittersweet. I feel alive, it's so hard to breathe. Will it be over if you got what you need? Sing now, ooh la 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 la. Sing na, ooh la 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 la. You do.
We were trying to use up some of the things we had. So the paint colors that we chose for the walls, like the top and bottom, was paint that we already had. We used Tornado Gray up top and Armory on bottom. And then I was using the shiplap for trim. I had put new trim up along the cabinets. We have the Beyond paint coming for those maroon tiles. We're painting those black. We painted the bar stools black. She's having a new sink put in. She had picked up some white tile for backsplash with a little bit of gray in it. It looks marble almost. So she's doing that for backsplash. So I wanted to go ahead and start on these cabinets. I wanted to just get like one section of cabinets done just so that I could see how it was all going to come together. I'm the most impatient person in the world too, so I just wanted to see what it was going to look like before I got too far into it. I would hate to get everything done, the cabinets done, and then be like, no, I want to change this up or change that up. So we were just trying to get a little bit of this and that done just to look at it and see how it would all come together. So I think it's all going to be okay. You know, we don't care if something doesn't match perfectly. You know, it's no big deal if something's not perfect, but we just wanted to make sure everything was going to flow. And I think it's going to. I think it's going to be fun. The one thing I did in my mom's kitchen that saved us a lot of money was we spray painted the hardware. So the handles on the cabinets and the hinges, we spray painted those as we did here. We used liquid sandpaper on the cabinets, spray painted the hardware. That saves us over $100. Hardware is expensive, so if you can spray paint that and save yourself a little money, there's a tip there. And the liquid sandpaper is a game changer. It dries like within 10 or 15 minutes, allows paint to stick to what you're painting, and it holds up great. So if you're needing to sand just for the rough surface so your paint will stick, try liquid sandpaper first. We had to sand our cabinets just because they were in really bad shape. Like liquid sandpaper wouldn't have touched those, but if you're just doing it just for the texture, try the liquid sandpaper first. And also, if you're going to paint your hinges, make sure you flip them over and you bend those and you spray paint those on the other side after you've opened those up or closed them, like bent them a little bit, or you'll have the old color show through. We learned that the hard way too.
A good thing we are running out of sunlight. It's not necessary for these guys to know all about. Look, there's a bruise right here, one or a few on there. Man, did you see me though? 'Cause I sure put on the show. I'm dancing on the tables and I must say I got a taste for flipping out. I'm glancing at the haters and I know they wish they did the shit I did tonight. You wanna break some things, alright. All of the cups are out of sight. You wanna drink 'cause I can buy. You're dancing on the table, so am I. Did you see me though? 'Cause I sure put on a show. I'm dancing on the tables and I must say I got a taste for flipping
went through and painted the inside of those cabinets, just the little lip on the inside, the little piece of wood. I'm sure you can see what I'm talking about. I always do that. And then up underneath the cabinets, I wish we would have painted ours. If I'm vlogging or if I'm in the living room sitting down and I look into the kitchen, I can see up under those cabinets and they're just bare wood, and I wish I would have done ours, so I always make sure I do everybody else's now. So I'm going to paint up under their cabinets for sure. Another tip if you're painting cabinets is buy you a pack of solo cups and go for the name brand. Go ahead and splurge, because the off brand is a little flimsy. Sometimes they'll collapse, but if you'll buy a pack of solo cups and flip those upside down, they're perfect to lay your cabinets on while you paint. So I need to pick up a pack of those to do the rest of our cabinets. We were just using whatever we could find in here. I'm going to go ahead and read my devotional to you guys, and today it's in your hand. Let them praise the Lord because they were created by his command. Psalms 148:5. God wants to use you in so many different ways, be it in your daily life or in a specific mission that he sets out for you. God doesn't, however, want you to try and be like somebody else in the way you approach things. You don't have to talk like a famous preacher or lead a Bible study like your friend. You don't have to sing to be influential. God needs you to be you. He wants you to wear the things that make you who you are in order to do his work. David couldn't wear Saul's armor. He just needed his everyday attire to get the job done. Wear your own shoes as you walk into today's tasks and be proud of them. God has given you a specific personality, set of experiences, style, and opportunities that are uniquely yours. How can you be comfortable with the person you have become and use your unique self to accomplish God's will? When I first started YouTube, that was one of the things that everybody told me. You know, I talked to several different people that have a YouTube channel, and they're like, just be yourself. Don't try to be like anybody else. Just be authentic. And I completely get that. In the beginning, I would crop Flash out of so many things. I would put him outside, or I would go in another room and clean while he was in a different room, just so he wouldn't be in my videos and being a little turd, basically. But once he was in one of my videos doing something mischievous or whatever, everybody loved him. Hands down, loved him. For the longest time, Kennedy and Heather and everybody was like, you just need to name your channel after Flash. Like, give your channel to him. And he just made such a difference. And I've come to know the right people are going to love me regardless if my house is clean or regardless if Flash is making a mess. And the people who don't, I don't need them here. I don't want them here. So thank you so much for loving me unconditionally. Ask God today to let you be a blessing to someone. I don't put my life out here to show you how good I am or how flawless I am, how perfect I am. No, not at all. I put my life out here to show you that if God can use me, and if God can forgive me, and if God can use what little talent I do have to be a blessing to somebody else, he surely can use you too. Promise you. Whether it just be helping somebody put their groceries in their car or returning their buggy for them, whatever. Do what you can to be a blessing to somebody. Ask God to use you. I've asked God so many times to use me, to let me be a blessing to somebody. I would have never in a million years thought at that time it would be renovating somebody's house. I mean, that's just so out of my comfort zone. That was just so not me at that time. You ask God for a job and he'll give it to you. And he'll give you what it takes to do it. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, being here, supporting me, loving me unconditionally. And just remember, Jesus loves you so much, no matter what, unconditionally, no matter where you're at, what you've done. He loves you so much. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Little reckless, you make me breathless, and I won't waste this. And I promise that I will stay. promise that I will stand by you forever. And I won't waste it.